Good morning. Time for another Take Time Tuesday. We start by breathing. So breathe in, breathe out. In the previous video, I talked about how watching the Netflix film K-Pop Demon Hunters brought me to concepts about shame and whatnot. And because my brain is a little different, I rabbit holed down, thoroughly started dissecting the movie, looked very deeply into Korean culture and mythology and shamanism and etc. And I'm still by no means an expert on anything Korean, so don't take my word as gospel. But it did bring me back around to the fact that the movie does center around another point, which is communication. And communication is something that I've talked about a bit before, but it's something that can always be brought back up and explored further. As a Gen Xer who's on the younger side of Gen X, I have some of those feelings where I initially distrusted the intervention of the cell phone and all that, but I love to text. I hate to talk on the phone. It's a concentration thing. It is what it is. But my communication styles don't always mesh with other people's communication styles. And that's something that we need to learn how to communicate to others, to understand you communicate in this way, I communicate in that way, and together we can communicate or create tension when there is miscommunication because you take something in a different way than I mean it, or vice versa. And we live in a social era where communication is completely breaking down, and we want to hear certain things, we don't, and then we tangent off and we form decisions without understanding whether the other person really was trying to communicate what you think they were trying to communicate. So how does that affect us in our daily lives? Well, in a work environment, it becomes salient for you to learn your coworkers' communication styles. And honestly, it doesn't hurt to sit and say, you know what, I communicate in this way and I feel that I'm not being understood, or I don't think I understand what you're saying. Let's talk that through. Let's understand where you're coming from. With interpersonal relationships, personally, that's very much more important, because you can't have a friendship or a relationship if you're not communicating on the same wavelength. So don't feel that you're being needy if you express, this is how I communicate, this is how I understand things, to the people that you're trying to develop further bonds with the understanding that they're going to do the same thing back towards you. And that can be rough if you've got very diverse communication styles, but at the same time, it allows you to incorporate other points of view into your own. And that is ultimately how we learn about the world around us and other people, is seeing things from other points of view. Because if you only look at the world through one lens, you will never see the beauty that's around you. It's the same as a horse with blinders. And where does that get you? It gets you from point A to point B, sure, but you miss all the beauty around you in the process. Something to think about. Y'all have a good day.